Collingwood skipper Darcy Moore fronted Fox Footy post-match, his face flush with effort and pride. The Pies had claimed another win, but there was no false bravado, only a clear-eyed respect for the challenge that St Kilda had presented. "They made us work for that," Moore admitted, sweat still clinging to his brow, the game's intensity lingering in his tone. "They have a fairly quick style of play and we had our work cut out, we had to keep going until the end. It was a match that demanded resolve, and Collingwood delivered it. When the Saints pushed, the Magpies responded. When the game threatened to shift, they steadied." Amid the heat of contest, one name once again stood out: Nick Daicos. Tagged for much of the night, he still found a way to leave his imprint: 30 disposals, 5 clearances, 9 inside 50s, and a stunning goal that lit up Docklands. Moore couldn't hide his admiration. "Nick generates the most chatter, but even when he gets tagged, Pendles, Sidebottom and Ned Long, it opens up opportunities for them," he said, eyes scanning the field like he could still see it playing out. He was unbelievable tonight. It was a night that showcased both grit and flair. The Saints came with energy, structure, and a game plan, but Collingwood had layers. When one avenue was blocked, another opened. When pressure came, they absorbed and responded. The crowd roared when Bobby Hill kicked a goal out of midair, a chaotic moment of brilliance that brought up the century for the Magpies. It was the final punctuation mark on a performance that underlined their premiership credentials. From back to front, Collingwood had moments. Darcy Cameron was imposing. Sidebottom, as ever, a cool head in the heat. The young guns stood tall, the veterans steadied the ship, and the system clicked. "It feels like a new version of us," Moore reflected, the confidence of a team finding its next gear clear in his voice. "We're excited." They had come off the bye fresh, and it showed. There was sharpness in their ball movement, and a cohesion that teams search for but few achieve. "We knew the Saints would be up for it. They're well coached, disciplined, and they've got weapons. But we trusted our system. We trusted our run. And it paid off." Tim Membrey managed a late goal for the Saints, but the momentum had swung. Collingwood had lifted. It wasn't just talent, it was timing, unity, and belief. In moments, you could feel it, the old Collingwood Steele wrapped in a fresh identity. Every contest told a story. Every rebound held intent. And every player knew their role, embracing it with intensity. Scott Pendlebury wound back the clock, his composure under pressure a masterclass once again. Steele Sidebottom ghosted into space, always where he needed to be, always ready to link up. Ned Long took his chance with courage and clarity. And Nick Daicos, even under the spotlight, even with attention locked on him, found ways to impact. Moore's leadership was visible throughout: intercepts, spoils, direction. He didn't just speak post-match, he had been speaking through his actions all night. "Winning off the bye is huge," he added. "We've spoken about building momentum and this was part of that. But there's more ahead." St Kilda tried, they pressed, they surged, they tackled hard, but in key moments, the Pies found separation. They found space, and more importantly, they found belief. The siren sounded with black and white flags waving and "Good Old Collingwood Forever" rolling around the ground like a proud anthem of tradition and triumph. Craig McRae's men didn't just win, they handled pressure, they adapted, and they showed why they're firming as genuine contenders once again. In the coach's box, there would have been satisfaction, not just in the result, but in the process. The habits, the resilience. There were lessons, too. Areas to polish. But that's the scary part, this team is winning and still finding ways to grow. Darcy Moore knows what's coming. He knows the bar has risen. And he knows they're not done yet. "This feels like a launch pad," he said, the hunger unmistakable. The Saints had their moments, but they ran out of time, and maybe out of ideas. The Pies had answers, in defense, in transition, inside 50. And when it mattered most, they kicked clear. A Collingwood team that can defend and devastate. A team that can absorb and explode. A team led by voices that mean it and actions that prove it. They're rolling, and the ladder reflects it. The gap is widening at the top, and this version of Collingwood, confident, cohesive, composed, is only just getting started.